I can't wait for another 2 years when I remake this video again for more views. Well, it's been 2 years. So I've done this thing on my channel where for some reason I say my top 10 favorite FNaF fan games, and then 2 years later I think that video is absolutely horrible, so I decided to make one again with my new opinions. This has been going on for 4 years, but I have matured since last time, and I think that's very clear from the fact that I have a big ass whiteboard now. But screw this introspective shit, let's talk about FNaF Fangames. I have a huge nostalgia for these games. I remember watching MatPat play 5 Nights at Candy's while I was in the bathroom. I wasn't on the toilet or anything, I was just walking around. My childhood was weird. And when I finally started to play the games, I grew a love for each and every one of them. Even if some were absolutely terrible, but they had charm to them. I grew such a love for the fan games that I made my own channel where I played them called Nightmare Mr. Hugs. Don't watch those videos, they are terrible.
Wanna see my head come off?
No. I have so much love for FNaF fan games, and now it's time to give my definitive list of top 10 FNaF fan games. Here are the rules this time. There are no rules. Anything that uses the FNaF formula, or characters, or themes is allowed to be on this list. So here we go with my list of the top 10 FNaF fan games. Before my first FNaF Fangame video, my channel had 0 traction, and then when that video started to get views, I got my first few hate comments, and those were about the fact that I put Joy of Creation at number 6. But after I played a bit more of the game for my second video, I decided it should have been higher on the list, so I put it at number 3. Now why am I mentioning this now? It's because Joy of Creation is number 10. Now let me explain before everyone starts saying that I'm a terrible person. Now I'm going to guess that at least 50% of the people that are complaining about this placement have not completed the game. I'm also going to say that at least 10% of you haven't even played the game. And I would know, because I just beat the game. Now you may be saying, Jacob, how could you rank the game in your other videos if you hadn't beaten it? And my reasoning is, are you really gonna leave Joy of Creation out of the top 10 list? Look, let me say it like this. The first half of Joy of Creation is one of the best FNaF fan games, and I mean that. The bedroom, while challenging, is classic. The office somehow balances stress-inducing patience and non-stop gameplay, and the living room, I will admit, is a lot of fun. All these nights were great, and while extremely challenging, are definitely worth your time. And then the basement happens. Nobody likes the basement, stop lying to yourself. There has to be at least a part of you that knows what I am saying is true. This section is the definition of trial and error in the worst possible sense. It's like Unfair Mario, but it's not Mario, it's an endoskeleton that I really want to punch in the face. I'm not gonna though. I'm not a pacifist, I just really don't want to hold my fingies. Okay, let me just use this as an example. In one of the sections of the level, you have to find an item from each one of the animatronics. Okay, so in the office, one of the defenses is looking under this Chica poster for a cupcake. And what happens if you check the poster? You die. Okay, then the game gives you a hint about healing. And when you are near the poster, you hear growling. So you wait for the growling to stop, which is still stupid, but you know, at least it's not that annoying. Okay, let me tell you what you have to do. You not only have to wait for the growling to stop, you have to make sure it's completely stopped. Like, not even a decibel of it is left. Like, it's completely gone, and if you still check it, you die. Now, I don't know about you, but if something is so quiet that I can barely hear it anymore, I would just do the thing anyway. And the entire segment is like this, extremely aggravating and not at all in a fun way. And then the attic is mad, Gordon Freddy is really annoying, but it is really nothing that special. And then you beat the game, and then the ending is really stupid. So overall, it's a really good game, but also annoying as shit. Sorry that I rambled on like that, but oh my god, I needed to talk about this. And guess what? I'm not 12 anymore, so if you disagree, that's fine, but be careful because I'm very fragile. My wooden spoon just broke up with me. Chipper & Sons Lumber Co. was the final Scott Cawthon game that was not a FNaF game. And there was also a comment made about the game that actually inspired FNaF. And I'm gonna be honest, this game kinda slaps. My brain loves this game. Yes, if you ever wonder why autistic people are hard to date, it's because we are too busy cheating on you with Chipper & Sons. But what if we combine FNaF and Chippo & Sons? Well, then you get Ebola, or its legal name, Tyke & Sons Lumber Co. Tyke & Sons Lumber Co. is about Mike, the son of Tyke, who was the son of Chippo, as he goes and chops some trees to make his father proud. Yeah, this game is an entirely new Chippo & Sons game with new mechanics and new places to explore. You can kill these weird root monsters to get gifts, you can chop down trees, fight a giant robot, serve coffee, or make a frog house. I made 2. But here's where the game gets interesting. The robots you build during the day to help you get lumber chase you at night. Tyke & Sons has a FNaF 4 style nighttime mode where you go to multiple windows to keep out the weird, creepy as hell robots. And you do this to get more sleep assurance. And when you deal with enough of them, you can finally go to bed. Both sections of the game are so addicting and fun. If you're like me and enjoy looking at all the progress you've made, or stopping killer animatronics, then this game is for you. If you were to ask me what my favorite FNaF Fangames series is, you may think I would say Five Nights at Candy's or the Jolly series, but no, I think the best FNaF Fangames series is Five Nights at Wario's. I kinda wish I was kidding. Look, you can make fun of the first game all you want, all the other games slap, including the latest entry in the series, 5 Shows at Wario's. Now, funnily enough, this was actually my number 1 on my last list, and you can still make an argument for that. I still think that the game is content-packed with the micro game nights in the theater, the final days mode having addictive FNaF 1-esque gameplay, and I still agree that the exit is one of, if not the best FNaF gameplay. There's the factory where you move between different rooms every night with the new mechanics and a classic mode, and there's a Coliseum mode where Wario can finally beat the shit out of whatever the hell this thing is. But then there's one little tiny issue. The game has too much content. Now, how can I say that when I literally mentioned this was a good thing 5 seconds ago? Well, here's the issue. The game feels too cluttered. All the different modes feel distant to each other. Like, there's the classic mode, even though the final days mode already uses FNaF 1 gameplay. And then there's the Coliseum, which feels completely out of left field, like it should have been a small side game. Like, even WW Wario has realized this issue of the game. He mentioned it in his AI President's Rank 5 Nights at Wario's video. This is a weird series. And while I still very much enjoy the game, it's not the most accessible. Because you can only have one mode going at once, this means you have to have a longer play session. You can't just have a small one where just like, oh, I want to play, just a little night of the final days or the exit. You can only do one thing at once or else your progress is gone. So while it's a fantastic game, it has too vague of an identity for me to give it a higher placement. One thing I will never understand is why do these places need security guards? Honestly, the animatronics could probably deal with any robber that comes by. Luckily, Jollybee's Phase 2 fixes this issue. You work a security gig at a warehouse where the Jollybee's animatronics have been temporarily placed. So now you have to do your job while making sure that the animatronics don't kill you. But they will kill you, because this is probably one of the hardest FNaF fan games I've ever played. But it's not in a bad way. The game challenges you with tense gameplay, and you know every time you die that it's not the game's fault, it's yours. And when you finally master the gameplay, it is so damn rewarding. You also have upgrades that will improve your audio, camera, and hacking system so you can more effectively deal with the animatronics. But what if you went a little short on cash? Well, then you can play little mini jobs in order to make some extra moolah. This game is just great all around. But like I mentioned in my last video, the game has been taken down because the Jollybee's company thought that the killer animatronics were home to their business. Which just makes me ask, what are you hiding, Jollybees? Did something happen? Did a robot kill someone? I'm onto you. Also, Jollybee's lives matter. I'm sorry, I've been making that joke for the last 4 years, and it gets funnier every single time I say it. I like rats. They're awesome. Here's a rat doing a little dance. This is the reason I wake up every morning. So obviously, I'm gonna like a fan game that stars a rat. And Five Nights at Candy's 3 fills that little rat hole in my heart FNaF thing. FNaF 3 is the third entry of the most popular FNaF fan game series of all time, Five Nights at Candy's. And every part of this game is enjoyable and great. The game has 3 sections: exploring the dreamscape to find hidden mini-games and story details, exploring the Rat and Cat Theater to find out what dark shenanigans happened there, and finally the night, with FNaF 4's gameplay where you have to keep the rat out of your room. And if he does get in, you gotta use your flashlight on him, and eventually you can make him go away once he gets under your bed and shine a bright light in his face. The gameplay loop is simple, but understandable. And addicting also, there's that. Also, there's a cat. Don't let the cat climb. This game has a lot of content, secret endings, and is just a damn good time. There's a reason why this is one of the most celebrated and popular FNaF fan games. And even though this rat is kinda terrifying, I'd still get a bite to eat with him. We could go to the Cheesecake Factory. I think you would like that a lot. I remember exactly when I got into FNaF. Me and my family were about to leave to go get ice cream, and I stumbled upon Matt Pat's theory. Specifically the one where he said it was all a dream. Postal 3 just finished installing. That's unfortunate. FNaF very easily made my obsession list, and I started watching a bunch of FNaF-esque content. And one of my big obsessions of the time, and still a little bit now, was Sonic. So when I learned about a Five Nights at Sonic's fan game, I was hooked. I remember eating this specific kind of DiGiorno pizza in my grandma's living room while watching Taste Gameplay play Five Nights at Sonic's 2. And while the game was obviously made by a child in MS Paint, it still had so much charm to it. And then skip a few years, blah blah blah, my father left, nothing important, and I became aware of Five Nights at Sonic's Maniac Mania. I have mentioned this before, and I will continue saying it until the day that I die. Despite being the first FNaF game I actually technically ever played, Ultimate Custom Night is a giant mess in one of my least favorite FNaF games. Five Nights at Sonic's fixes this by, oh my god, having the same gameplay for the characters that they had in their original games. Wow, who knew it would make more sense to deal with Toy Freddy with the mask instead of one of the dumbest FNaF mechanics ever. And the game is just so good. It has crisp, quick, and extremely addicting gameplay. Whether you're doing the challenges, playing endless nights, or just messing around with the custom nights, the game is a lot of fun. And you can even buy stuff to decorate your crib. My office has some plushes, some wall decorations, and my personal favorite, a piece of shit ghost tails that won't leave my damn office. Now, if you were to ask me what my favorite FNaF game was, you may think I would say FNaF 2 for the mechanics, FNaF Help Wanted for the amount of content and re-envisioning the franchise, or FNaF 1 because I'm a prick. Security Breach. Not that one, but no, my answer is kind of an unpopular one. My favorite is FNaF 6, aka Pizzeria Simulator, because both the Pizzeria creator and the main game are great. It also gave us an actual clear-cut ending to the franchise that they later threw out a window. But why am I mentioning this, you may be wondering? Well, because it is a fan game that takes a Pizzeria creation from the game, ups it to 10, and is also one of the most hilarious FNaF fan games, but also the saddest. And that game is not One Night at Flumpty's 3. Why? And that game is Dayshift at Freddy's 3. If you have watched my other 2 parts or have been in the FNaF community for a second, you've heard of Dayshift at Freddy's. And if you haven't, yes you have, it's the game where you yiff the fox.
Daddy, like it, ooh.
Dayshift at Freddy's is the satire of the entire FNaF franchise, exploring what the hell goes on in the day. The series is famous for its kinda edgy humor, but Dayshift at Freddy's 3 allows you to create your own Freddy Fazbear's location, and make it your own. For me, that is making an old-ass Fredbear the mascot, and the main attraction of the restaurant being Doggo. And the freedom the game gives you is so refreshing compared to all the other fan games where you are doing the same thing over and over again. Not that those games are bad, just this one's better. And somehow this game, filled with jokes, also can make you cry. I'm not joking. In the other half of the gameplay, you and Dave, aka Purple Guy, go around and try to save the souls of the dead children. And it can get emotional, like pretty damn emotional. The game overall has so much personality and so much heart, and while the creator has moved on to bigger and better things, I will always keep Dayshift at Freddy's close to my heart. Also, this game just has a real-ass bear. FNaF parody games have always been popular, from hit games like Five Nights at 39 or One Night with a Box, but one game series has completely triumphed the rest of the parody games, and that is One Night at Flumpty's. The games have always had character to them, kind of feeling like a twisted children's cartoon, probably because... Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. But despite that, One Night at Flumpty's 3 is still my number 3. Get it? Because 3, I did not plan this. You're back in Flumpty's lair again, having to survive the egg and his friends until 6 a.m. You have to use your camera to scare away Birthday Boy Blam and this demented amalgamation of Owl and Beaver. Don't flash the camera when Grunkfuss is there. And make sure not to die from the cold because, fun fact, Flumpty lives in Antarctica apparently. To be honest, I was half expecting the game to end with a poorly photoshopped image of Flumpty next to a penguin. How do you deal with the cold, you may ask? Well, by going to the furnace. Make sure not to be near the furnace when the red man is there. Who's the red man? You already know too much. But you may notice Flumpty isn't actually here, and that's because Flumpty's night is a thing where Flumpty becomes everything and can appear from literally anywhere. And he messes with your clock and thermometer so you don't actually know what you are doing. Also, this mode changes the game from Scream to Saw 2 in 5 seconds. The game is absolutely amazing and a great last installment in the Flumpty series. But, you know, I'm starting to think something. What if Flumpty is Mr. Beast? Now, okay, both host games, both have the contestants leave to never be seen again, and both are in Antarctica, and both Mr. Beast and Flumpty have accusations. One of the first real FNaF fan games was called Five Nights at Treasure Island. Inspired by the creepypasta abandoned by Disney, it follows a security guard keeping watch over Treasure Island while the scariest enemy ever made comes after you. Mickey Mouse but put in Photoshop. And honestly, somehow this game was one of the only FNaF games to actually scare me. Honestly, to this day, I still don't know why. My best guess was the fact that I was terrified of Mickey Mouse as a child. I had a weird childhood. Anyway, it's not the best FNaF fan game because the game was kinda buggy to say the least.
I did it! I don't know what the hell happened. He was just kinda standing there. I kinda wanted to talk to him. What the fuck?
Then a few years later, Radiant's team made a remaster of the games which became one of my favorite FNaF games. Till I realized there was a strategy that basically guaranteed a win every single night. So I needed a new game to fill my Nightmare Mickey Mouse fix. Enter the sequel to Treasure Island remake, Oblitus Casa. Oblitus Casa follows the security guard from the last game after finding out he was gay or something. I honestly don't know. The ending's confusing. So now he's in Mickey Mouse's cabin and has to survive disabled Steamboat Willie, Spider Daisy, poorly photoshopped rat, a drawing, boars from Bendy and the Ink Machine, and god damn it, the face is back. Whoever designed this monstrosity already has a one-way ticket to hell. You combat the crazy crew with 4 simple mechanics. Use the audio lore to keep Springtrap Mickey Mouse from giving you a cease and desist. And same thing with Goofy, but to keep him from asking you where his money is.
Where's my money?
Use the flash to keep Photoshop Woman Rat away. And same thing with Spider Daisy from breaking your camera. Erase the drawing to stop it from coming to life. And in the attic, scale the face away back to the hellhole it came from. But don't do it for Pete, or else he'll belly flop on ya.
Gonna catch me riding dirty.
And even though these mechanics seem like a lot, they actually flow perfectly together. And then in the final night, Mickey Mouse turns into this abomination, which you have to use all the mechanics to stop him. Also, after every night, you have to fight off this hell spawn and find a key in a kind of 3D environment. It's really cool. And also, if you die in the main game, you get sent to purgatory. And I don't mean that, I literally mean you get sent to purgatory. And guess what? If you complete the minigame there, you go back to the night at the time where you died. This game just has so many cool features and I don't hear many people talking about it. So check it out or else Photoshop Mickey will find you. Just kidding. He's already in your closet. And now, before we get to my number one, here are the honorable mentions. One Night at Flumpty's 2 has real great gameplay, but it gets kind of basic after a while. Five Nights at Wario's Origins was at one point my number one, and while I still think it's great, it definitely has some flaws, with Luigi only being there on night 3 in the 1998 mode, and the 2018 mode being kinda eh. But I still love this game, absolutely. Five Nights at Treasure Island Remastered is a really fun game. The only downside is there's a trick you can use every night to make sure you win every night. I said it once and I'll say it again. PT has the most addicting FNaF gameplay I have ever seen, but it's brought down by the fact that it just gets repetitive after a while. It's not a fault of the game, it's just for the formula. And my final honorable mention is a game which in 2020 I thought was better than Joy of Creation. The game was Fun Times at Humbles 2, and while the game is still a lot of fun, it just doesn't have the same polish like other games on this list. And now we get to my number one. Yes, it's a Five Nights at Wario's game. Now you must think I am mentally insane to put FNaF Mario Google search image the series over every game I have mentioned thus far. But clearly you doubt how manic I am. Well, my other top picks I fell out of love with because I saw some issues with them. I don't think I will ever see a lot of issues with this game. That game being Five Nights at Wario's 3. This game is the best FNaF game. Yes, I just said that. It's better than every mainline FNaF game. It's better than every fan game. It's better than the books. I haven't read them, but I can tell you that. It's better than the movie because that was kind of a mess. In my last video, I said the things to make a perfect FNaF game / FNaF fan game were amazing gameplay, unique but interesting story, and lots to do but not too much. I'm looking at you 5 shows at Wario. And Five Nights at Wario's 3 has all of this. You spend each night in a different room of the mansion, keeping the ghosts of Wario and friends at bay. Each mechanic is somehow intimidating, but easy to learn. Maybe besides, the first night, because it's simple, but still. And you can choose which rooms you go in. This is the path. You could go to the living room, and then the bathroom, and then bedroom 2, and then you could go to the laundry, and then you end up in the basement. Every time you will end up in the basement. But I just want to tell you how much content this is, because if you want to play through every single room on a playthrough of the main game, you have to do at least 3 playthroughs or more, which is absolutely crazy to me that they pack that much content into the main part of the game. And there is more, but the basement has the ending. Now, of course, the ending of the game usually is, Darko, who is Princess Peach. It's a whole thing. Basically, they kill you. That's the ending. But throughout parts of these rooms are pieces of a music box. And if you collect all of them, you can summon Bruno Gates, who was the person who killed Wario and friends. Now, if you are a gaming fan, you probably know The Last of Us 2. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. It's a story about revenge and forgiveness. And honestly, Five Nights at Wario's 3 does that story way better. The ending cutscene is so jank, but also so beautiful at the same time. It's Bruno apologizing for murdering the people, but not in a way of, oh, I'm sorry I murdered you. Like, I did something to you. I ended your guys' lives, and I could never, ever, ever forgive myself. But I want to apologize. And then Wario and friends ascend to the heavens. This is a really weird franchise, but trust me, the game is so good. Spirits, they're being set free. Oh my god! And then there's the optional stuff. Oh my god, there's a custom night where you can make challenges for yourself and friends. And then the daytime quest. Oh my god, I love the daytime quest. You search around the house during the day to find items and food to survive, and then you choose which rooms you go to. Like, you literally walk to that room, stay there, and then when it hits midnight, you play that room. And you can play this game in long or short sittings. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is if you're already having like a custom night going or something. But in reality, who really cares? Also, there's a cross-game quest throughout all of the Five Nights at Wario's games, and it actually all kind of culminates in this game. There's a reason why. It's because this is the best one! And also, Wario, the creator of this game, alongside Jeb Yoshi, who made Five Nights at Yoshi's, completely different game series, I know it sounds really weird. And also, number one, Jenny. They are remaking the first few games from scratch, including this one, and oh my god, I am so excited. I love you, Five Nights at Wario, screw you, Joy of Creation, America! Now, hopefully this is the final time I do this list. As much as this has been fun every 2 years, making a new video on the exact same topic, this year I checked my list, I checked it twice, I played through every single game that I had in consideration for the last 2 videos, including some new ones, and I'm pretty sure this is the definitive list. And because I can only take so many FNaF Fangames and rank them, I love FNaF Fangames, and they are my childhood, but you gotta let stuff grow when you get older. Not FNaF Fangames, I mean making lists about them and posting them on YouTube because, oh my god, this has been holding my brain. And the FNaF community is actually more alive than ever, with FNAF's 10-year anniversary just happening. While I absolutely hate this community, I mean, you guys literally canceled the game's creator for having a damn opinion. I am unfortunately part of it, and probably always will be, because I have a soft spot for these games. Now, if you don't mind me, I have played a lot of FNaF Fangames, and it's time to relax. Okay, we got this, we got this, okay. What is happening? Okay. Okay. Wait a second, are they coming from the sides? Oh my god, I think they're coming from the sides, okay. Whoa, reload! Ah!